I wouldn't say I've had the most difficult upbringing. Financially and comfort-wise was good. For me to say anything else, I'd be lying. But emotionally, I'd say I had such a difficult upbringing. And I'll get into it at a later date, but the point of this video is what I've learned from dealing with emotions as a man. I know that we're all humans. I know that women and men are supposed to be the same, but we're not. We're wired differently. We're supposed to be different. So from a young age, I knew that I couldn't really deal with my emotions the same way that my sisters did. I couldn't really take a self-care day and stay inside eating ice cream and drowning in sadness the whole day. I knew that that wasn't the way for me. The reason I'm making this video is because right now I am going through a tough time. My emotions were getting the better of me. I feel like as a man you can never let that happen. You can never let your emotions control you. When you look at the world right now, there's this narrative of like being in tune with your emotions and being like hyper aware of your emotions. Yes, that's good, but it's almost as if we're being told to let our emotions control us. We're being told that taking a self-care day is okay. Taking a day where you do nothing but eat junk food and watch movies is okay. Fair enough, I don't know. I can't talk for a woman. I don't know if that works for them, but I've found from my personal experiences that taking self-care days, they don't really work. I'm always left with the same emotions, but now I have guilt from taking a self-care day. And I'm worse off than I was before. I feel like as men with the masculine energy, we're built to be trying to achieve something, to be searching for the next task, to be working towards a purpose. Whereas someone with the feminine energy is built to enjoy the flow of life, to be very in tune with the emotions and to like not be governed by the emotions. I don't have a better way of saying it. Not to be governed by the emotion, but to be hyper aware of those emotions. What I've come to find is that for men, self-care days don't work. The advice of taking like a self-care day or whatever, I think is rubbish. Because you know what the funny thing is, people always advocate for us to take self-care days. They always advocate for us to take a few days off, watch Netflix every day. But whenever you talk to someone who's overcome depression, whenever you talk to someone who's overcome like a bad time, they never tell you that what fixed it was taking a self-care day, was eating ice cream. They always tell you that they started doing good habits. They started going to the gym, they started exercising, they started reading, they started taking time away from social media. And I find it terrible that the advice that that's on the internet is take a self-care day, go watch Netflix. I don't know. And we live in a generation, probably the saddest generation, the generation with the worst mental health. So it's clear that that advice isn't working. And from what I've already said, I think you already know what I'm going to say. The way to deal with your emotions as a man is, yes, you must be in tune with them. You must know your emotions. But you can never let them get the best of you. You can never let them control you. If you're sad, this may sound toxic. It may sound like toxic masculinity. But if you're sad, if you're upset, you can never let those emotions get the best of you. Because you're going to be in a worse off position if you let those emotions get the best of you and you do what you feel like doing. You sit in bed the whole day. You eat junk food. The best way to deal with your emotions, what I've found for me, is you feel those emotions to the depth. You don't try to distract yourself on social media. You don't try to distract yourself with eating junk food. You feel that emotion. You sit there. Yes, this is going to be uncomfortable. You sit there, you stare at the wall with your journal and a pen, and you feel that emotion, you write everything down. You can't allow yourself to wallow in that sadness. And the reason why I say you have to feel that emotion and just sit there without being distracted is because that's how you process things. You can't process things when you're distracting yourself on social media, when you're distracting yourself looking at Instagram models. The only time you can process things is when you actively think about what you're going through. When you think about how you're going to make it out. Never take a self-care day to distract yourself. Say, I just need to watch Netflix. I just need to do this. I think that the self-care day narrative, the narrative of like how people deal with their emotions now, promoting weak men who allow themselves to be controlled by their emotions. Just think about it. Think about, for those of you who are fathers or like the father figures in your life, if you saw your dad taking a self-care day, if you saw a man who you respected taking a self-care day saying, I'm struggling, I'm feeling down, I'm going to take a day off to watch Netflix, to eat pizza, to just sit around, you wouldn't think that would be healthy. Subconsciously you lose respect for them because you know that that's not the right thing to do. The right thing to do when you're feeling sad, when you're going through a tough time, is yes, you have to feel those emotions, you have to go through that, you have to process it, but you can never wallow in your sadness. It's like you have to move on. You have to attempt to get back into a working state. As men, we feel better when we do things. We feel better when we're pursuing a purpose or something. So yes, I'm not saying ignore your emotions, but you have to remember what's important. When you're feeling bad, journal. But remember that you have to attack your purpose. You have to attack the mission. You have to pursue the mission. Because when you're pursuing your mission, you're not doing any of the bad habits. You're focusing on doing the good habits. You're focusing on praying, on meditating, on reading, on journaling, on being productive. What do you think is better for your mental health? Being productive, doing the good habits, or taking several self-care days? It's time that we stop accepting these soft narratives on social media. It's time that we start thinking for ourselves and actually think critically. These self-care days don't help. What I've found is they leave you in a worse position. Now you have more reasons to be sad. You have more reasons to be upset. Because now you're no longer just upset because you've gotten in an argument with your girlfriend or something. You're upset because of now the first reason. Now you've wasted time, you've gained weight, and you feel like you've done nothing. So I'll leave you to think about that and think, which way do you want to deal with your emotions? Would you rather take self-care days and wallow in your emotions? Or would you rather feel their emotion for a few hours, for a few, maybe even days, but not allow it to take control of you, not allow it to get the best of you, to still carry out what you're supposed to do while feeling those emotions? It's your decision to make. I can never make the decision for you.